Russian troops are not on the Ukrainian front but have invaded Finland instead. Two Finnish recruits are being intimate when suddenly a large number of paratroopers appear overhead. A soldier goes to negotiate with this mysterious force and is shot dead on the spot. The remaining small squad of recruits flees in panic. Upon discovering the situation, the Finnish Navy immediately reports to the Ministry of Defense, and the entire country enters a state of emergency. Even the First Lady, who is meeting with her lover, is urgently recalled. 2 hours earlier, a group of recruits is conducting exercises on Finland's Hanko Peninsula. The commander's timing is off. The team members throw smoke grenades in the wrong position, and the machine gunner is too nervous, causing the gun to jam. Their poor combat skills are fully exposed. In the end, Berg's combat team finishes last. Captain Rami orders them to stay behind and clean up the battlefield, while the other soldiers all leave for their break. Berg, who has been holding back for a long time, eagerly hides in the woods with his boyfriend for some intimacy. However, just as they finish dressing, they notice a large number of paratroopers overhead, all wearing Finnish military uniforms. Berg's squad members guess this might be a special exercise. The machine gunner walks over unsuspectingly to ask which unit they're from.
Hey! Keitä te ootte? Mikä harjoitus? Stop! Get down on your knees!
He realizes it's an enemy attack and turns to run, but it's too late. The other team members are scared and flee immediately, with Berg retreating into the woods shortly after. Meanwhile, Captain Rami and the other soldiers, who are preparing to leave, also encounter trouble. 3 trucks block their way, with the drivers and keys missing. They are about to report to headquarters when they find that all communication networks are down. Then gunshots are heard in the distance, and the battle-experienced Rami becomes immediately alert. He orders these inexperienced soldiers and officers to stay in guard. He himself drives off in a jeep, taking an armored vehicle with him back to the recruit training camp. Soon after, 3 armed soldiers intercept Rami. He immediately reverses the jeep into a slope beside the road, then gets out and hides in the bushes to return fire. Fortunately, the armored vehicle behind catches up in time and provides suppressing fire. Rami checks the bodies and finds they are not Finnish soldiers, clearly indicating that an unidentified armed force has invaded. Worse still, radio communications are also cut off, leaving them unable to contact anyone. Suddenly, Rami spots 2 soldiers carrying rocket launchers in the forest ahead. Staying inside the armored vehicle now means certain death, so Rami immediately exits, returning fire while seeking cover. He then throws a smoke grenade for cover, but the inexperienced driver flees from cover before the smoke spreads. Left alone, Rami has no choice but to retreat temporarily. Meanwhile, Berg's combat team finds themselves surrounded in the woods. The enemy continuously uses loudspeakers to demand the surrender of the Finnish soldiers. Having just participated in an exercise, they now lack ammunition to fight the enemy. Fortunately, they find a supply point not yet occupied by enemy forces. Besides replenishing ammunition, they also find a radio but can't receive any signals. Berg plans to go to a nearby town for support. Before leaving, Osman also takes a rocket launcher. They have just approached a civilian house when they discover a squad of enemy soldiers closing in nearby. With battle imminent, several team members lose their nerve, constantly shouting about surrendering. Seeing them lose their will to fight, Berg can only retreat back into the woods with 3 determined team members. The rest are all captured. Berg's squad tries to break through from another direction, but soon encounters another enemy force. Seeing his boyfriend killed, Berg is grief-stricken. The enemy far outnumbers them, and their position is locked by drones. Berg can only flee in tears with the remaining 2 team members. Headquarters receives news that the enemy is still reinforcing. A cargo ship flying the Venezuelan flag deploys a motorized unit to the Hanko Peninsula. All communication on the peninsula is completely cut off, and the Finnish military loses total control of the area. Finnish warships at sea discover the situation and immediately notify the Air Force to send planes for reconnaissance. By now, the coastal police on the peninsula have been controlled by enemy forces, and numerous armored vehicles are entering the towns. The enemy is systematically deploying and suppressing resistance forces here. At this point, apart from the lone fighting Captain Rami and the defeated Berg squad, only the recruit unit guarding the highway remains, and the enemy's armored forces are rapidly advancing towards them.